All right, here we are. Krotos Reformer Pro, one of my favorite tools in my sound design toolbox. And one of my favorite parts about it is that I can use my own libraries for sounds. Recently, on a TV series I'm working on, we had to do some water movement, some of it going underwater, some of it coming above to the surface. So we need to be able to have a fluid motion between the two. And, cutting in sound effects for this stuff, it can be a pain. I mean, trying to get the right movements and in sync with everything. And your Foley team can do so much, but this is just a nice way to augment everything that they've done and also be able to use these underwater sounds that you might have in your library already. Starting up Reformer Pro, here we are with the Black Leopard, Electronic Pro, Fruit Squash Pro, and Leather Pro, all the standards that come with it. But what I need to do is use sounds that I already have in my library of underwater motion and above surface water motion. I'm going to spare you the details of me going through and picking out which sounds I want to use. I've already pulled them into their own folder, and we're going to go to the analysis tool here and click on that and choose our folder. So here in my Krotos folder, I have underwater and water movement 2 and water movement. You can see here, we're going to load up underwater first, hit open, and I'm working at 48K, hit create. We'll call it underwater JDR3, creating library, boom, done. All right. Now I want to make another library at the same time. So rather than restarting Reformer Pro and just getting the one library, let's go ahead and load up Water Movement 2 for Reformer that I made. Again, 48K, create. Boom, done. Go ahead, close and reopen. So one thing you'll notice in my session, and I just found this out from Krotos, that it doesn't always work properly this way, but this is the way I find my workflow to work best, is I put my reformer on an aux and then bus it to an audio track to record what I'm doing. So I'm going to go to plugin and other, and I'm just going to do a mono instance of Reformer Pro. Excellent. Now I've discovered with doing water sounds, I'm going to use reverb to add a little bit of a tail so that the water sort of ripples away like it would naturally. I don't want it to be triggered and stopped by my voice. I want it to just tail off a little bit more. So we're going to go ahead here and pick my underwater sounds, put it up in that number 1 spot. And number 2, we're going to go here and pick my water movement 2. And I'm just going to go ahead and mute these other 2 here. And I'm going to show you, I'm going to go back and forth here between underwater and above water to show you how fluidly you can do this and how just by modulating it with your voice, different sounds. I mean, most of the time I'm just sort of humming or, I think my family thinks I'm a little crazy because they hear me in my home studio making sounds like, ooh. But those types of sounds are just helping me modulate these sounds that I've curated in this library to trigger for underwater movement. I can't show you the picture because of an NDA of the program that I did this for, but I think you'll still get the idea and hear how wonderful this actually is. So there you go. That's a quick example of doing water movement with Reformer Pro. Now, there's other really great things that I've done with Reformer Pro. For another show that I had to do a tattoo scene. So I go down here and I'll take the leather foley, and you can see that I've already made tattoo machine sounds. Load that up. And I'm going to turn off the reverb for this because this I don't want to tail out. I want it to end with my voice. I mean, I don't want it to tail out like I would water. And if we go ahead down here, So there you go. That's just a tattoo machine. And I was following along with the tattoo artist's strokes on the picture, and it was great just modulating it again with my voice as a trigger. And it just shows you how powerful Reformer Pro can be for your sound design and for quickly getting scenes into shape. So thanks for watching.